Hello, everyone. This is going to be an awesome panel for 3 o'clock on a Friday after two grueling days. But we're going to make it great. And part of the reason it's going to be great is the panelists we have are not only good, they're exceptional. Tricia Warnholz here is our Director of Technology for the Financial Services Innovation Coalition. And she's done so much research to get ready for this. Now, I will warn you, she's going to scare you a little bit about what the administration's doing, but we are trying to come up with solutions. So we have Mr. Tyrone Short. He's the Chief Operating Officer for Southern Imaginations. And he is, as I read his bio, he helps his clients with cyber hygiene. I'm going to let him explain that. And then we have Dr. Justin McLean. He is with T-Mobile Education, and he comes at it from a totally different point of view. And I'm really looking forward to hearing from them all. So I gotta be able to see this here. I wanna change something in our country. It's gonna be very difficult, and that's that instead of MAGA, we should call it MALGA. Make America's leaders great again. Now, it doesn't sound as catchy, but that's what I wanna do. And that's what we're trying to do here is create leaders. A gentleman out in the hallway said to me, you know, I noticed that there's all these different areas you're covering, but yet they seem to have some of the same issues. And that's exactly why we do this summit, is so everyone can see they may be fighting in their industry, but they can see that there are other people fighting too to get these things done. So, first question. AI is reshaping industries, but for many minority communities, it's a double-edged sword, offering new opportunities, but also posing risks of job displacement, bias, and exclusion. Can you each spend a couple minutes, and we'll start with Justin, talking about how that, from your point of view, how that stands.
Good afternoon, everybody. There we go. I know we're the last one, so let's pull through together. Not a problem. So from my point of view, when you look at how AI can actually eliminate job positions, it could also be one of those things that can help increase those positions. I look at it from the standpoint as a former educator and school leader as well as a district leader. And now my current role with T-Mobile for Education, how do we transform and utilize these different devices, materials, the technology to enhance what we're currently doing? The one thing that AI can do that I take a lot of pride in doing, and I use it myself for these reasons, is not about cheating the system. It's not about trying to get ahead of somebody else. The one thing we want to do is try to maximize as much time as possible, because as jobs are disappearing, those responsibilities are rolling over to somebody else. So by those jobs coming to someone else, how are you going to make sure you keep up with that? So what I use it for, it helps with research. I've taught my kids how to use it. It helps them with their research. It helps them, move faster, get things done. It serves as an extra hand that you don't always have. So it's not that it's displacing, jobs. It can also help even create some of those opportunities where, they weren't there before, because now you're able to look at it from a different light, a different lens. You can research more things and have those resources to go back to based upon the research that either AI gave you. But you still have to have the knowledge to write the prompt the right way if you're going to utilize it. You still have to know exactly what you're looking for and still go back through and read over it. So it helps you, it gives you some framing, but it's not the actual end-all, end-all.
Thank you, Justin. I'm going to go with Tyrone next because Tricia has kind of the bedrock of our new AI Workforce Displacement and Opportunities Task Force, and then she'll get like a double turn. So, Mr. Short, how do you see it? You're a businessman. You're trying to educate people. You're trying to help your clients. What do you tell them about AI and how it's going to affect them, good or bad?
So I want to make this interactive. Anybody in here that doesn't have an iPhone, raise your hand. If you have a Samsung Android, raise your hand. All right. So this is what I want to show everybody. Take out your iPhones, us iPhone people, I'm gonna pick on us. Go to settings right now. Go to settings on your iPhone. When you have settings open, when you look at it, up here is your name. Is it lit up or is it dark?
Say it again for the people, the iPhone people. Say it one more time.
When you go to settings in your iPhone and your name is up here at the top, is it lit up or is it dark? Can you tap it or touch it? Can you touch your name on your iPhone? It's light, all right? So if it's lit, you're a victim. A victim. Let me make it real for you. Let me ask you, do you think hacking is hard? Do you think it's hard? It's easy. Why is your phone light? For those of us who haven't locked it, why is it that it's lit? I'm who you call when you realize too late that this should be dark. How easy is it for me to put my phone next to your phone and get your personal information? How many of us got some pictures we don't want nobody to see?
Not anymore.
What are you going to do if I decide it's too hard in these streets for me, and I just come lay my phone next to your phone, and you get a message from me that says, hey, I'm gonna need 1,000 in Bitcoin. You're not gonna catch me. Who you gonna report to when you send me $1,000 in Bitcoin? I'm not making this up. Your business in AI, do you think hacking because of AI is going to get easier or harder? I can ask my AI right now to write me a script that can hack you. I'm not making this up, look it up. So when we talk about AI in business, I think solving all of these problems, if I can make this personal for everybody, we can solve this problem you're talking about. I want you to care about why having that box is dark. Because if we can figure that out, we can unite us. We all have a smartphone. How many of us sleep in a neighborhood where you don't lock your door at night? You know how often break-ins happen? How many people in here have been broken into? I think the average break-in rate is like 1 every 69 minutes. You are hacked on average 300,000 times a day. That's how many times people are trying to get at your stuff. You don't think I'm joking? Go to your Gmail, Hotmail, check your login records. I bet you ain't been to Peru, but I bet Peru tried to get into your account today.
Is that why I'm always so tired? Because people been hacking me?
Listen, it's real. So technology moves much faster than the measures to protect ourselves. Cars could go 120 miles per hour before they made the seatbelt not an option. You could get a car without a seatbelt in 1982. 83, New York was the first state to make the seatbelt a law. That was 40 years ago. You could fly through the windshield, no problem. But now we have this supercomputer, the first computer made by Apple. Can anybody guess how much that computer cost in '83? A PC, the equivalent of $30K. The first personal computer made available for everybody to get cost $30,000 in today's dollars.
And that's what your next iPhone's probably going to cost.
It had one processor running at 5 megahertz. Let me make that correlated to everybody. A 5 megahertz processor is like a chef in a kitchen doing 5 tasks. He cooking, he taking the order, he plating the food, he working with the waitress, he doing 5 things. That's the man. Your iPhone has 6 chefs with 6 helpers that can execute 1 billion tasks per second. What restaurant output could even match that?
All right, Tyrone, thank you. Keep some of your powder dry.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, we are holding on to things that are extremely powerful. We're walking around with them in our pocket like it's regular, like it's normal. But it's not. So all of the things that we're talking about with AI is just us putting more horsepower into everything, but no brakes, no windows, no doors, just go. And wherever is that a good idea? We don't ask for
Never,
brakes.
just in case anybody wanted to know that.
Thank you.
So Tricia came to me about 9 months ago and said, you know, the government, the world has been talking about how AI is going to replace so many workers, and unfortunately, so many workers at the bottom of the food chain, the taxi drivers, the Uber drivers, you know, people that do some of these jobs, that's how they get their start. You know, it's honorable work, but AI through automated devices or cars is going to displace them. And she said to me, what are we going to do about this? And I said, well, what do you mean we? And she goes, well, no one else is doing anything, so I guess FSIC has another Herculean task to take care of. So I want her to tell us about how she approached this, how she came up with what the problem was, and then what the solution is as we see it. And we, you know, as the weeks go on after this, we'll ask for your opinions on these things, because last year we took a lot of the information that you came up with and turned it into legislation that we're going to introduce this year. So this is one conference you will go to where we don't just all feel good afterwards and then we go on about our business. You'll hear what we did at this meeting next year. So sorry, Tricia, I was getting a little commercial there. So tell us.
Hi, everybody. I am Tricia Warnholtz. Like Brady said, we started looking into this last year. It was very personal to me because I had a lot of career tech professionals coming to me, asking me for advice because, as an example, there was this one guy, he was in his early 60s. He has an ailing father. He has bills. He has insurance issues, you know, like everything. He was working at a government contracting company for 20 plus years, and his role became redundant because AI can do what he used to do. And there's this guy in his 60s. He has not written a resume in 20-something years. He doesn't have enough right now to retire. He has a parent to take care of. He has to start over again, right? And there are many people that are like that, male and female, in all different sectors, not just coding. You have project managers, you have social media managers, you have a lot of folks in, for example, the gig economy, you know, the web developers, the writers, the copywriters. They're having a hard time finding work because, well, AI is there now, and many people are beginning to use AI. But the other side of that is in technology. Technology is always evolving, so there is the risk, right? You move into tech, you have to continually educate yourself because technology will always evolve. It is always going to, you know, move forward, and we have to evolve with it, or we will get left behind. One of the things that we noticed is that they're like two complete different perceptions when it comes to AI. There are those that are interested in it and they want to learn about it, and then there are those that think this is just a fad like crypto and it will go away. And for people that say that, I'll go back to the days of floppy disk and CD drives when the cloud, I'll show my age, when the cloud was first coming, you know, like you can save your stuff on what is the cloud? We weren't sure if we could do it. When was the last time you saw somebody save something on a floppy disk? We have evolved and we've moved on, right? And we need to be sure that our population can also do that. We need to focus on training, but we also need to focus on education, and we need to focus on workforce reintegration. A lot of people are going to be displaced. Women, for example, and we have all this information on our resource website. Women are more likely to be impacted by AI because a lot of the current roles that women play in the workplace can all be automated, right? So when we talk about, oh, there's this new AI tool for this, we also have to think about the person that used to do that before that no longer can do that. And we have to find a way to reintegrate them back into the workforce because they need to live, right? They need to make money, they need to support themselves and their families. And I feel like we're not talking about that enough. So I came to Brady and Kevin, and then we decided we were going to do something about it. The first part of that is pulling together resources, getting educated on the topic so that we can then interpret this and share it with our community. And through that, we created, we call it Tech to Work. The website is aiworkforcedevelopment.org. aiworkforcedevelopment.org. I think we have that somewhere. Or you can go to the FSIC website and you'll find it. We started sharing resources, not just for folks looking for work, but also for our community leaders, because there's a lot going on in the federal government right now. There's a lack of regulation coming from the federal government right now. And what that tells us is that it has to be your state. It has to be, your local government that will step forward and really think about how we integrate AI into our communities. How can we make sure that there's equal opportunity for our community members, to be exposed to AI and to learn about AI, but also to be able to use that to gain employment or something else. But what is also important is that we need our state and local legislators to also think about the bigger picture with AI as it relates to human agency, right? Technology is supposed to work for us always. From the time I started in tech, that was how I saw it. Like, technology, it's for me. Like, I decide and I define what it is supposed to do. I define its usefulness, and it shouldn't be the other way around. What we're witnessing right now is a lot of change, a lot of deregulation that is more focused on profit as opposed to people. And it has to be on the state and local level that we work to create policies that will protect our citizens. We also need to think about data, right? Because AI systems are as smart as the data that they're learning on. Since January, we have seen and we have heard, it is very public, core data sets are being moved or removed.
Save that one.
Oh, we don't
That's
have
a whole nother, no, we will. I want to come back to you on that one. Because this, out of a lot of things that they're doing with this administration, this stuff is permanent. So I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but I do want to come back.
No, that's okay.
Okay, so when it comes to policy, Dr. McLean, that the government, who is and I hate to be, it's ageist, but I think it's that the people are old enough that they didn't grow up the paradigm of phones and computers, and they may have people around them, but they don't truly understand, this technology that's coming is going to be bigger than the internet, and how, from an education standpoint, and from the artificial intelligence really getting in and being a huge part of education, how can we get our legislators to really pay attention to this and go, what, we need some help, maybe we don't understand this?
It's a great question. I think it's one of those questions that the best answer for is you have to educate people. You want to bring in a group of educators or people who are very familiar with that, like you have up here on this panel or in this room, who are aware of the pros and the cons of AI and what is the best way to leverage those resources. It's one thing to say, hey, you're cheating using AI, right? You're replacing that, you're taking this away. But it's another thing to say, hey, we can actually use it to look at it from a different angle. I think the other piece is that when I think about leveraging AI in the educational setting, it serves as additional tutor. A lot of, as a former educator and as a former special education educator, working with students with disabilities, you don't have that co-teacher at home. You don't have, your mom or dad might not know how to do it as well. So if I actually have a component like an AI system that can help understand my IEP, interpret what my dyslexia might be, I'm suffering from. Those are the things where now I can step into it using that AI component to help me understand. Because if the parents might not understand how to use it, legislation needs to get educated on, hey, you can use it for these purposes. It's no different than on college campuses. I have a freshman at George Mason University right now, and she even knows how to run her paper through to ensure that she's not using anything that can be detected as AI, because it's a system. I'm very glad I taught her how to do that, because it's a lot of money to go to George Mason. But kids, she's educated on how to do it. Her professors are not educated on how to do it. So bringing in the proper resources and training, you can now utilize AI in the education setting and get parents to also buy in, and legislation can help a lot of those things. But you got to educate the legislators and the decision makers first.
Yeah, and I will tell you, everyone out there, I know all of you have the perfect understanding of AI, and you're going to write letters to your senators and congressmen. Oh, no? Well, we do. We have the experts that are going to help us form this legislation. We're going to do a bill outline. We haven't done it for technology yet, but we have for tax and I think 5 others. So we can represent you in that respect. So when we call on you and your organization to help us sign a letter, we'll send you the letter and you'll go, yeah, okay, that's not going to get me in big trouble. Try to err on the side of signing the letter as opposed to not signing the letter, because it may be something that somebody may yell at you about, or somebody may think less of you about, because we really need people to step up for this. So, Tyrone.
Yes.
This is sorry. Yeah, that's all right. That's the problem. It's all dark.
Better get dark.
Black and brown professionals are vastly underrepresented in AI development and cybersecurity, leaving communities vulnerable to algorithmic discrimination and AI-driven surveillance policies. What can we do to increase minority representation in AI careers?
A couple different things, right? Like everybody, education is key, but I want to give everybody a starting point, all right? If I say I have flour, eggs, sugar, and leavening agents, what am I making? I'm making a cake. What are the 5 components of any electronic device? Does anybody know them? We all got smartphones. How many people know that I was making a cake, actually baked a cake? You don't need to know how to bake a cake to know what's in a cake. We should know what's in this. That's a great place to start. Input, output, CPU, storage, RAM. Just like you know what eggs do, you should know what RAM does. You don't have to be an IT person. But if you start there with this thing we use every single day, you know what parts do what things. Just like you know what goes in the cake. You add too much flour, you're going to get a cookie. You know what I mean? So the education part for this is absolutely essential. And when we participate, when you know better, you do better, right? Like, so when you train, like you train for boxing, you feel a little bit more confident in what you're doing. You don't fight everybody you see, but you do know, I can handle mine. I'm a little more secure when I walk down the street because of my training. So if you get the training, when you step into a space where they're looking for people, so I participate in AI all the time. They want us to participate, but we have an innate fear around kind of things we don't understand. So if you know how they can hurt us when we are participating in AI studies, they look for us all the time. They don't advertise it, but there are ways we can insert ourselves into these conversations. And I think the best place for us to do that in the best way is just educate yourself on the basics, on the flour, the sugar, the eggs part of what this can do. And this will unlock a ton of doors for your own benefit.
Thank you, sir. That sounds like the voice of reason, but some of us are more adept at that than others, but I'm sure that all the people out there that aren't have kids and grandkids, so I'm sure that could be a point where you could bond. Am I wrong? Okay. Tricia, before I so rudely interrupted you, you were about to talk about, they say data is the new oil, right? And our government has collected massive amounts of data, and it's stored in the National Archives, which this administration fired the archivist, and they're using AI to do some nefarious things. And I'm going to let her explain this, and then the way we need to think about it when we're talking to people, what we should be doing. Tricia?
So I would say we are where we are, right? We know that this is where we are, and we have to think of a way forward. So the damage is already done. There are all these data sets that have been removed. We know this. It's all over the news. It was in the news this week as well because of some of the absurd things that were happening. But this is wrong. It's wrong because we cannot say that we are pushing forward with speed to be a leader in AI and build this AI future economy that will work for everyone, paired with us cleaning data sets so that the data now tells a story that is favorable to a subset of our population. That is wrong. For me, it's almost like burning the books. You are removing history. You are removing the lived experiences of people. These things happened, right? Not just that, we're removing health data sets, which will make it harder for some people to seek health care. We shouldn't be able to do that because then, okay, what happens in 4 years or 8 years when the next administration comes in and then they don't believe in certain concepts, so then, okay, we're just gonna go back and we're gonna, wipe this off and just say what we want. AI only knows what it is trained on. If we remove all this information at the same time that we are training AI systems, and we're not just training AI systems, we are putting these systems to work right now on the data of the people, right? We can't do that because what are we setting up here? It's almost like we are losing human agency right before our eyes, and there's so much going on. There are all these things going on. It may be hard to think about, but every one of us as leaders in this room, we have the responsibility to get educated on AI. AI is not just coding. AI is everywhere. And we need to be educated enough so that we can understand and interpret what we hear in the news, what is happening in our community, and also understand what it means for us, what it means for our human agency. So to add to that, on our resource website, we put some tools together for you leaders to start to learn about AI, not just coding, but managing, integration, the ethical side of AI, so that we can all go out there and be the change makers that we need, because again, it will come from the state and local level. That it's not going to come from the federal level right now, and we just have to accept that that is what it is and that is where we are, right? So, yeah.
I have an idea for y'all. This is going to be awesome. Imagine a Saturday night, you got a glass of wine or a beer or milk, whatever, and you're sitting there with your iPhone. You can go to our website and study everything that Tracy is talking about. I mean, how much fun does that? I mean, it's amazing. You will learn so much and be so confused, but then the second time you go back, okay, so, but this is really important that we understand that this administration is deleting words that they find offensive. And in fact, Teresa, you saved this one for me, I guess, is that they tried to eliminate everything with the word gay in it, including the Enola Gay, which was one of the planes that dropped. So somehow they saved it, and they tried to, Dr. Neil Sahota was telling me, they tried to get rid of Jackie Robinson's military record. And somebody sued and got it back in, but it's like, okay, this is nefarious. This is evil at this point. They're just trying to get rid of everything. And some of that we may not ever get back. So this is why this is important, even though it's not as sexy as some other things. So,
Yeah.
okay. Dr. McLean. Yeah, I'm getting an F now, aren't I? What role should corporate partnerships, HBCUs, and policymakers play in ensuring that students of color are prepared for the AI-driven careers?
It's not a loaded question at all, is it? No. Thank you. When it comes to corporate sponsorships and things of that nature, I'll speak from that lens with what T-Mobile is currently doing. Okay? With that, we currently are partnering with, not only with HBCUs, but other universities around. And doing so, it's one of our programs where we're trying to ensure that every student that is enrolled has connectivity. With that connectivity comes with that some training, comes with onboarding, comes with implementation pieces. As an HBCU alumni myself from Bowie State University, they are trying to work with them, right? And the main reason being, who doesn't want their alma mater to have access, right? But when you can connect people, that is the one thing that we're all trying to do. We want to bring people to the resources. We want to put them in their hands, making sure that you have Wi-Fi, making sure that you have every aspect and fundamental thing that you need to be successful. The corporation and legislation, how should it play, and making sure that AI is part of that. I mean, I guess it really falls on to what is it that you want to do? What are you trying to study? Are you trying to grow your university, or are you trying to shrink it? Because as Latricia mentioned, moving forward, you have to be able to adjust and adapt as you go and as you grow. AI is here now. How are you going to adjust your university to fit to it? Some of the things that we're doing with HBCUs, we are looking at trying to bring together. So if you are at an HBCU, we want to partner with you. What that partnership looks like, it could be every new enrollee we're going to do an iPad, we're going to do a Chromebook, but it's going to be a 5G connected device. So they'll get connectivity wherever they are. No more having to go to your local corner store or coffee shop or a McDonald's and able to access anything. You can do it sitting at the bus stop or in your own home, regardless of what your area is. So the corporations, we have the resources, we have the financial backing. I heard a speaker earlier talking about you needing access to things. T-Mobile can do that for you. Any major corporation can do that for you. I'm not trying to do a sales pitch or a plug, but I mean, I am being very transparent. We have the number one coverage in the nation. So with that, why not partner? We have not done away with our DE&I programming. We are very proud to stand on that. So that is something that is not going anywhere, and our CEO assured us of that. We'll play nice and we'll abide by the laws that be. We won't break the law, but we're not doing away with that programming. We also offer a program called Project 10 Million. What that does, it provides free resources such as connectivity with the internet or hotspots. Even sometimes it's a Chromebook, where it goes to underprivileged students in those areas. Our goal was to connect 10 million students and families to technology. And again, AI is here and it's part of that. Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Justin, thank you for your comments about AI. And one of the things that higher education is doing in some places, they're teaching students to use AI. You can use AI intelligently and do some copy. What happens is particular information is copied doesn't mean that particular information is correct. It's really teaching, I don't know what level they're doing it. They're doing it at the doctoral level, I know right now, where they're telling you to use the AI and cite it, make sure you do that, and do a critical analysis of that AI information. So I see AI can be something wonderful in the future if you do it and use it correctly, like in data in, bad data out.
Mm-hmm.
It teaches you that that data is not always correct. You really have to go to different places to check on that AI data that you're being given, which is great because before I was like, okay, we know we're all using some level of AI, but if you just copy the AI, that they can tell them there's methods now they can put your paper through to see if you're copying it, if you're using the AI. So it could be a great. Now, how do you get it to the vulnerable population, to those that can't afford to have a computer or system in their place? So that's where we need to solve this.
Okay. All right, that's a great question. We have 5 minutes, so
Should I
if you could.
respond real quick in 30
Yes,
seconds?
absolutely, and then I'll give 2 minutes to each of you guys, and that will be it.
To your point where you stated bringing that type of resource to the most vulnerable population, that's that Project 10 Million I was just speaking about. That is something you can go to our website, you can look it up, and you apply for it. It will basically tell you exactly everything that, based upon your tax ID number, that can be afforded within that area. So that's our contribution to it, and that's how our corporation supports. I'm done.
Thank you. Tracy, give us a 2-minute recap. I know that you have so much more, but she's going to be putting this all on the website. And again, Saturday night, glass of wine, we're all good. So go ahead.
What I will say is, we all need to get educated, because we are the leaders we are going to lead tomorrow. So we need to know enough about AI so that we can understand what we're hearing, we can understand what we're reading in the news, and we are able to interpret, and say what that means to us, our families, and again, human agency. So my one push is to please just learn about it. We have a website with resources. You just need to Google it. There are a lot of free training programs that you can use. One of the best it's called AI for Everyone. And that covers like almost all of the core concepts of AI. Start by learning, because then once you know, you are then able to educate others. And yeah, AI is the future. Like we all agree, it is the future. This is where we're going. We just need to learn more, and we need to be able to, I don't like to use the word control, but we need to be the ones that are leading it, because if we don't do that, we will lose human agency. And I know that sounds like really out there and scary, but it is. We will lose human agency if we are not able to properly manage and integrate AI into our society.
Thank you, Tracy. Tyrone?
I want, Brady, you brought it up, so everybody, Brady brought up cyber hygiene. Cyber hygiene is exactly what it sounds like. Are you using secure passwords? Did you hop on the Wi-Fi in this building? Did you use your VPN? Like, if what I'm saying sounds foreign to you, you have bad cyber hygiene. Handle it now, because if you call me or book a call with me or through Brady or someone and you say, hey, Ty, come talk, I'll come talk for free. Call me after your business has been breached. You don't want to see that bill. And I'm telling everyone, you are being hacked right now. It's not a joke. So if you have a business and you haven't gotten a risk assessment, or you don't have cybersecurity insurance, if you don't have a secure password manager on your phone, this stuff costs $2 a month. This is not expensive stuff I'm talking about. I'm not selling it. You should be using it, because when I lived on the other side of it, getting a password was easy. And usually when I got one, I got more than one. Then we turned around and sold access to that. So everything we use is insecure. Park Mobile just got sued. Your business will not survive a breach. You personally will not survive a breach. The average cost of a breach is $40,000. Who got that? Somebody lock your stuff up right now until you send me 10 grand and I'll release it. Who got it? Get serious about your cybersecurity.
I know how time is. I know time, always time. But this panel was really great. I miss that meal.
I know.
Yeah.
Here, because some of the things like that he spoke about earlier, maybe yesterday, in reference to human interaction with AI, and like people are worried and scared that AI is going to replace us, and he eliminated a lot of those fears by saying that we control that. And I wanted to say to you, Tricia, because I'm going to go back to the website and do more reading, but for people to educate and educate themselves, like what I did is you know how you get an email or something about news every day, you might follow AP News or Reuters or whatever, Apple News, and you can go. So I have one of those for AI. It's called I got Big Desk Energy, and
Never heard.
Only
We'll show you when y'all go.
Only kid.
You can get, some information that you don't even have to do too much, it will come right to your, and it tells you all the new, like, AI platforms, because people think about just ChatGPT, like, there's a whole lot more, and they're constantly coming out, and they're specified to specific industries and things. So if you're into something, you need to know about that, so you can use that platform. So it's just like you said, you have to educate yourself. I think, where do you start?
You start where you are.
Okay, I know there's some questions, but we're gonna have to hold them till offline. You promise? Okay.
You asked who had the iPhone and who had the Samsung. Now, everyone with the iPhone was talking about their name lit up and everything. So there is a difference, right?
Only in that, so one of the reasons I brought that up is because ubiquity. iPhones and Samsungs are everywhere. So if I want to target someone, it's very easy for me to do that. Like if you got a Samsung Android or an iPhone, it's no problem.
So they're about the same.
Yeah.
You can,
Yeah, but the we call it a threshold. To get to the threshold where you are very well protected takes a couple minutes
right, because
for both platforms.
when I hit my settings, my name didn't.
No, but what you can do when you come down, can you show them how to, you'll come if you want to do it just like this. Because I know we got to move on.
He just said for $10,000.
Well, like I said, I talk for free, but if something happened, that's not gonna be free.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at your phone and you just say,
Yeah.
like, Tyrone worked, he was the tech person for a tax company and a small black-owned tax business, and he did the security for that. And he said, he had everything set up, he said, because a black business will shut down. If you get a cyber or a tech breach, and you holding people's valuable information in that type of a space, but if that happens to you, you don't
You're
have the
done.
money to bounce back.
You're done. You're done.
All right, she's waving that at me, but she's weirdly waving it at you, so. I want to thank my panel. This has been amazing, and thank you, the audience, for sticking with us.